everybody, it's MicheleMarieDalene. Today I am doing a little bit better, thank you very much. I'm still having some problems with my eyes, but I wanted to talk to you today about eye safety, eye health, and light bulbs. Okay. First of all, the lighting we're using right now in the studio is the good old-fashioned incandescent light bulbs, the big 300-watt monsters, and because of a standard good old incandescent light bulb. And I pulled these out of the closet because I wanted to show you some of the issues with these. Okay, now unfortunately these little CFLs, and this is certainly no exception to the rule, have become ubiquitous everywhere. There's a lot of things with these bulbs that are a danger, and one of the first things is mercury, Hg. Mercury is a major problem for the bulbs because they have mercury inside. They need mercury to work. I'm talking about in the compact fluorescents and a standard fluorescent light fixture as well. Any of them do. They depend on mercury as one of the components to make it work. Now, what I wanted to do was I was going to try to create a demonstration as best I can to explain light bulb safety and some of the issues of standard incandescents versus CFLs. The only other bulb I do not have on hand right here is a LED light bulb. If I had an LED, we'd have a whole set. But we're going to talk specifically about these and the risks associated with these little things, because they seem to be, as I said, they're ubiquitous. They're everywhere. Everybody's got at least one or two of these screwed into some lamp socket. Now, depending on the color temperature of these lamps, you could find yourself blinding yourself because of the brightness of these bulbs. They're great for brightness, but because the fact is there is no protective shield, the glass in this is very thin. This happens to be a used bulb, it still works. It just these is not the size bulbs we were using in your studio that were causing some significant eye damage, which is what I want to talk about. But let me just tell you right now is we're going to talk about the ones that really pushed my eyeballs. The breaking point. And I only need to show you one, and I wanted to show you one thing that you should do probably to protect your... No, I don't eat that many pickles. Can't stand pickles. It just happened to be I got the jar from somebody else. Okay. Now, incandescent or CF fluorescent light bulbs and generally work by using the mercury, which is energized and vaporized, creates an ultraviolet field. Now, this ultraviolet field hits a phosphor. Yeah, this is big. Okay. So I'm going to use this. I think this will just all fit in there. Nope, too big. Okay. Just gives you an idea of the sheer size of this monster. This thing is 85 watts. The amount of ultraviolet rays this thing shoots out and everywhere was enough to seriously hurt my poor marginal eyesight already. And I did a video with these with Dory Myville, and it was so bright that for a couple days afterwards, my eyeballs were so sunburned that I couldn't see for days. Maybe in the right circumstances, maybe if you could find a way to encapsulate them in some kind of a glass jar or something to prevent UV light from getting out into the room, you might be okay. But no matter what, there's another danger with these bad boys. They contain mercury. Now, I did a video on this before, so this is kind of like a rehash. And if you want to go back and watch the first video I did, it's on my YouTube channel. Let's put it this way. I learned a painful lesson about these guys. They really can hurt your eyes bad. Cause severe burning of the retina. And these big, the more ultraviolet rays you're producing, it does damage to your skin, it does damage to your eyes. What does it do to the eyeballs? Well, I don't know if you can see it when it happens to the glass here, but oxidation has turned milky, right? Well, the same thing is also a little dirty, but still, it causes your eye to turn milky, just like this glass is oxidizing. Okay, we were using this as a coin jar originally, and I mentioned in an earlier video, which I did not put up on YouTube here, I mentioned about CD cases and how plastic turns milky. I don't know if you can see it. This is your cataract, and this is kind of a little bit extreme of what my eye is seeing. In other words, if you're looking at this through me, you'll see that, okay, you got a little bit of dirt on it, but even if you clean the dirt off, it'd still be hazy. So instead of having a nice clear picture like this, you have at the beginning level of cataracts, you're starting to see a picture like this. That is you lose all your fine details in your eyesight and you can't see very well. And that has a very negative impact on the way you see. Well, it turns out that excessive blue light from both the sun and from these bad boys and the ultraviolet rays prematurely age your eyes lens, which causes the promotion of a cataract. Now, I'm not saying cataracts cannot form from age, because they sure can. But it turns out that as your eyes get older and older, you start looking like this. Got a little milky color. This has got scratches in it too. Yeah, sometimes even corneas get scratched. Hopefully not that bad. Okay? But they start to show damage to the eyes. So, one of the mistakes I made in my studio work was, I was saying is, yeah, I need it as bright as I can get so I can stop my lens down smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay. But the more brightness I threw into my studio, the more I was irreversibly damaging my eyes. Because my eyes, I already am very light sensitive because I have ocular albinism. So here I have these big, huge, bright 85-watt CFLs dumping tons of ultraviolet rays at me. And that's getting into my eyes and through my skin. It's bouncing off the wall. It's coming back at me. And I had that 45-watt CFL where this incandescent in front of me is. And that was causing also direct frontal assault of getting all those UVs are coming right in straight into my eyeballs. And helped hasten the creation of a cataract condition. I'm still having problems from it. I'm still hurting, okay? Now, as I said, if you're going to use a bulb like a CFL, you need to make sure, if you can do it, is put these bad boys far the hell away from you as you can, and make sure you understand that if you can, put it under a glass type protection layer that will keep the ultraviolet rays from getting out of the immediate area where it's needed. The UV is needed to excite the fluorescence here, but you don't need to use it to blind yourself. Some of these bigger bulbs are produce so much ultraviolet rays, especially 6,500 degree Kelvin monsters, that the amount of protection you would need would have to be a big giant glass cover to go over the bulb to protect it. This glass is really thin. Most people don't realize how thin this is. This glass is really, really, really thin. It's thinner than so you would expect. It's actually almost as thin as the standard incandescent glass and the standard incandescent light bulb. It's that thin. And the UV light comes out. After it excites the phosphor, it makes the light work. That's what you want, right? That's what you want. You want the phosphor to be excited to make the bulb glow, right? Well, if the glass is too thin, it's got all this stray UV after it has done that, is going to come out of the bulb. And it's going to get into the room. And if you happen to be if you had a table lamp right here, right where the microphone is, and I'm trying to read a book or something, or, whatever, and I'm trying to read something, the UV is going to come out from here, get into my eye. And since I already am highly sensitive to excessive light in the blues, it's going to increase the damage to the cones of my eyes, as well as also some damage to the rods and to the lens of the eye, which is where cataracts form. Cataracts are formed by what they call radicals. Now, when you're young, your eyes have developed a means to protect your eyes from the damage of the radicals, because of certain antioxidants are more readily available to you. But when you get older, your antioxidants levels start to go through and decrease, and so the damage to the lens of the eye and the associated equipment is going to cause your eye to really start to suffer damage. Now, I'm going to be trying something new, which is called, it's not new. It's been around for about 10 years. Okay? It's called N-acetylcortisine. Okay? Or NAC, NAC. NAC is a product that is an eye drop that helps to remove, through biological means, a cataract from the eye itself. And it does so by getting into the aqueous humor to help fight the radicals that are causing the damage to the lens of the eye. But you see, not everybody can do surgery. I sure can't. And with my nystagmus, surgery is just not an option. If I could do surgery, that'd be great. But I can't. And so they need to come up with a better solution. But for now, and this is important, I gotta live with what I got. And I really wish I had known about this, or really gave it much thought before I bought these 85-watt monsters. It's just how much damage I was doing to my eyes with the CFLs. I did not really think of it. And trying to maintain a professional studio, high-quality lighting, trying to make sure that people could see what I was doing, it was just becoming more and more important to me to push the envelope for the excellence at the sacrifice of my own eye health. And that was just bad juju on my part. It's not a good choice. Okay, so we know that these incandescent light bulbs are not exactly going to be the greatest thing for everybody. But let's talk about what have been demonstrated. This has been tested by several different independent groups in the United States, United Kingdom, and Canada, and other countries. These are a nightmare because of the fact, as I said about the mercury. This happens to be a smaller bulb. Some of these things are huge. This happens to be a very tight little bulb. Another thing that makes them a nightmare is in certain fixtures, these bulbs will not allow you to use them on fixtures that have the kind of shade that clips over the lamp. They won't clip. In fact, if you try, you'll actually crack the glass, and then you'll have mercury everywhere, and that's definitely not what you want. These spirals, this one looks almost like you could probably squash it all into an incandescent bulb like this. But there also is other materials in these too, and there's lead from certain lead solder components, I'm sure of it, or even other types of materials. There are certainly electronic components. There's probably things in there that are really toxic. And it's not just like this. This bulb here consists of a aluminum base, a contact here, maybe a little bit of silver solder on the bottom, your tungsten filament inside here, your glass. That's it. Oh yeah, sometimes they add a little bit of argon, but that's about it to make this work. This is a much safer choice. And people who have conditions such as lupus cannot live very well under these, because they come out and they look like they went to the beach and got sunburned something fierce in several demonstrations. I have been looking at these things from my own case, and what it's doing to my eyes. Now, before we all went to these bad boys, I was using these like everybody else was. Of course, I was a lot younger, so please understand there is an age issue here, okay? So for this reason, we're going to talk about a variety of people, not just me. When these incandescent light bulbs were the norm for everyday use in the home, there was a lot less significant issues of skin disorders, thinking disorders, and, of course, we didn't have mercury problems either. I mean, if this thing breaks, you don't have to worry about going through special disposal means. You just go ahead, sweep up the broken glass, and throw it in the garbage can. This breaks, you gotta go through all kinds of special decontamination procedures. This is a dangerous way to go. And this is also a lot more expensive than this. The reason why, by the way, manufacturers wanted to phase out these bulbs, and they were doing so even before any kind of moratorium, was because there was more money to be made in each of these. You could sell one of these for about $10 a piece. They last 5 to 6 years. They make more money in R&D than they do on these. This is a 100-year-old technology, at least 100 plus years. About 1880 versus 1970. Actually, if you want to go back to the original fluorescent, say about 1947. Okay? This is just happened to be that somebody over the years, I think it was Philips in the 70s, started to realize that they can make them smaller and make them smaller spirals and make them integrate unit that can be put into a lamp socket. That's what Philips was designing these for. That's why they're called compact fluorescents, is because they're small and they can fit into a standard medium base E26 incandescent light socket. So, I mean, just being in the studio right now, I got these lights on. I got the same amount of light that I had in the CFLs in here. Same amount of light, if not more than that. I mean, equivalent watt-wise. And my eyes are not screaming pain. They're not hurting right now. If I turn on a CFL like this one. Mine, this is a fairly tame one. I mean, the ones I have, the bigger ones, the 45 watt, 85 watts, my eyes are screaming for the last train to the coast. Because they can't take it. They just can't take it. So one of the things I've been doing is I'm trying to reinvest into the incandescents. And as I said, I don't have any LEDs right now, so I can't tell you how my eyes will react to LEDs. Other than when I see them in McDonald's or at CVS or refrigerated cases, my eyes don't seem to mind them so much. Another thing too with incandescents, and yes, halogens as well, have going for it is something called the Color Rendering Index, the CRI. These are 100 for most cases. There are a few that might be a little bit lower, especially sort of full spectrums, but this is pretty much 100 color rendering index. In other words, it's a perfect, smooth, within the range of the bulb of color rendering. But this is 2700 degrees Kelvin, so this is going to be a warm bulb. I'm not even talking about physical temperature of the thing, which is clearly going to be smoking hot. But the thing has a better ability to handle all the colors in the spectrum. Here at the Snow Queen Palace, we have decided to kiss these buys bye-bye, because they're not going to be used anywhere. We're phasing these out. These things are just downright nasty. I just kind of keep a few of them around. I'll give them away to people who really, really want to risk their eyeballs. But you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like these guys. What about the halogen lookalikes to these? Okay. Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. The 57 watt ones from Slovenia. Like the things. What? In fact, I got a fixture one in here, has one in it, and I have and it works fine. In fact, I'm going to get some more of those. They're a little more expensive, but they last longer, and they are standard A19 shape like this. And they screw in your standard fixtures, and they produce pretty close to the standard 2700 degrees Kelvin light, if the standard tungsten bulb like this one is. And might use more energy, but I mean, I gotta consider my eyeballs too, because I really, really kind of messed up. My eyeballs do not like me very much after what I did. It's really hard now to work on a computer because now my eyes are so badly burned that I have trying to get these videos in. I'm going to try. I told you I'm going to. So I'm going to. But for now, stay away from CFLs, especially 6500 degree Kelvins, unless you can put them in a glass sleeve or have an encapsulated bulb to protect your eyes from direct exposure. And also, some people just being around the bulbs can also cause their skin to get badly sunburned too. So it's up to you. Just exercise caution, and especially if you don't want your eyeballs to look like this, or you can't barely see your ass from a hole in the ground, like this case here, where you got this milky lens of your eye. You can fix it now by getting some of the stuff called Can-See, and also they make something called Bright Eyes that'll help to remove the damage. But if you can also use a preventive means to prevent the clouding of your lens in the first place, and obviously that definitely is another reason not to use these, because the ultraviolet rays and also being in pure sunlight will cause problems too. That's why people suggesting for the American Federation for the Blind, as well as the Lions Club, say please use your sunglasses for UVA and UVB protection, because that causes severe damage to the eye. And these are, it's just like bringing the sun into your house, and you don't realize how much damage you're doing until it's done. As I said, back in the prior to these things becoming mainstream, or even the standard long fluorescent tubes, most people did not have as much problem with their eyeballs as we do today. With all the computers and stuff that we're using, we just keep adding more and more luminance to our lives, and we're destroying our eyes, and that's not cool. As far as Congress goes, and the way that they've been trying to originally mandate the phasing out of incandescents, manufacturers were already doing that long before you guys got involved. So manufacturers really did not want to keep making these incandescents anymore, because they thought they were losing money. And they are. And they just wanted to get rid of them. But when they started closing plants, General Electric closed the American plant, needed these guys. There was a lot of jobs, American jobs. And so there was a lot of American workers that need work, and now they don't have many labels. There is one company that is making these things now, is still making them through means of the Bulb Act, called by making what they call rough surface, or heavy duty bulbs. They're rough surface. That's what they call them. ROUGH, rough service bulbs, designed to take a beating. And these guys are still being made, and they're so popular right now and down in Georgia that the company is not able to keep up with the demand. So if you can keep getting these bulbs, please do. And please do remind your congressional critter, stop trying to railroad these damn CFLs down people's throats. I know that they did defund the program. I think we need to go further than defunding. It's like decriminalizing. It doesn't mean it's not on the books to be funded. It just means that it's been given a break. Speaking of break, does marijuana help my eyes? Yes, it does. Would I be using marijuana right now if it was legal in Connecticut? You bet I would be. Because if I hadn't been using marijuana in my eyes after what happened to my eyes would be a lot better. I was able to see. I used to have friends that were smoking their joints, and I'd be in that room with them, and my eyes are always 10 times better after just being in a room with marijuana THC smoke. And that was almost more therapeutic than these, but it still was hard to get because it's not legal in the state of Connecticut except for medicinal use. And the problem is that these medicinal marijuana, I think that we need to go further and just totally remove the whole criminalization business completely, and maybe just change it to a Schedule 2 or 3 for marijuana. But that's a whole nother video. Okay, so that's it for now, guys. And don't forget, if you like or dislike the video, please comment in the comment section below. Share excuse me, with your friends and enemies. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to keep trying to do my videos as best I can. Hell or high water. I've already told you, this is my life. This is the one thing that keeps me going, is doing these videos. And I want to keep doing them because I love doing the videos. And even if I go totally blind, I'm going to keep doing them. Somehow. Okay? But for right now, I do got to give my eyes a break because they have problems. And they are very sore and tender after this giant 85-watt monstrosity of this type basically burned the crap out of my eyeballs. This one, of course, this is a small little 23 watt. This is not the big monster I'm talking about. But for right now, I'm going to let you go. So I'll talk to you soon. Okay? So don't forget, I love to hear from you. And please do check out my other channels too, such as Welcome to My World, which covers the programs that I put on Cable 13 here in Winstead. Okay? Bye-bye, everybody.